Here's your news for May 5th, 2020. And here are some headlines. 2 former world champions returning to Raw next week. Former WWE star says his career might be over. WWE and EA Sports in the video game business together? WWE edits footage to stop wrestlers getting over. WWE Wrestler addresses rumors of backstage heat. WWE experiencing issue after moving Charlotte Flair to NXT. We're kicking off today with news from Raw, as fans haven't seen Edge or Randy Orton since their brutal and lengthy last man standing match at WrestleMania, but now the company has confirmed both men will be back next week. It's strange that WWE hyped up the return of the 2 veterans on just a week's notice, though to be fair, the company has been focused on this Sunday's Money in the Bank event. With Raw missing star power recently, having these 2 return, as well as AJ Styles' comeback last night, will sure make the Red brand a whole lot interesting. On to SmackDown now, and this week's go-home show for Money in the Bank will see Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville finally collide in the ring. The feud between the 2 former friends has been building ever since Deville got involved in Mandy's relationship with Otis, and with the Jersey Devil recently costing the Golden Goddess a spot in the women's Money in the Bank match, expect things to be messy when the 2 former friends collide. We've got some news from the video game world next, as after 2K20 was critically panned by fans, the video game producer made a big mistake yet again this week. After promising fans that the servers for 2K19 would remain open not too long ago, players were informed yesterday that the servers for the game were shutting down, which is a big issue for those who exclusively play this instead of 2K20. 2K Games later made it clear that they aren't shutting down the servers, saying, "Please disregard the in-game message stating that the WWE 2K19 servers are coming down on May 31st. They will remain open for the foreseeable future." Fans were relieved at this, though it doesn't explain why players received the message in the first place. And while fans of the series will get another standard 2K game eventually, they'll have to wait more than a year, as 2K Games hope to make a better game. We've got even more video game news next. As while fans won't be receiving a 2K21 in favor of 2K Battlegrounds this year, the WWE might already have a new company to replace 2K Games. In a recent job listing by EA Games, the game producer is seeking out an assistant producer, but had some very interesting criteria for anyone wanting the job. It reads, "Edit, check, test, tune the team and player data in WWE and in-game on a consistent basis. Bug and WWE feedback management, WWE or football data editing experience." It's possible that when they say WWE, they just mean wrestling, as AEW is also putting a video game together which Cody Rhodes has promised he will take fans along the ride for. Then there's also the possibility that this has nothing to do with wrestling at all, as Ringside News is reporting that WWE could mean World Web Editor. Whatever the truth is, this is a very interesting situation. As though 2K have stated they wanted to give their next game more time to get it right, WWE may have already moved on by the time this game hits shelves. We're back in the real world next, as while Charlotte Flair was moved to NXT following her women's title win at WrestleMania, it hasn't helped the Gold brand like WWE had hoped. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that the Queen's latest match with Mia Yim didn't do well at all, saying, "The Charlotte Flair-Mia Yim match was actually a low point. It did 170,000 in 18-49, which is dreadful. It was the second lowest point of the show. The Charlotte Flair match, that is a story, because you know obviously it's Charlotte Flair, and she's there to put the numbers up, and you know there are people waiting to see if it'll work or not. With Io Shirai it may work, but with Mia Yim, you know it obviously did not." Fans haven't seen Rhea Ripley, who Flair beat for the gold since WrestleMania, and time will tell whether Flair vs. Io Shirai gets the numbers up this week like WWE had hoped. Back to Raw now, and while Apollo Crews won't be competing at this Sunday's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, there are still some big plans reportedly in place for the athletic superstar. After qualifying for the ladder match only to be later pulled due to a storyline injury, Wrestling News reports that the plan is for Crews to turn heel, a plan that could have happened even sooner in the year when he was on SmackDown. They said, "They're turning him. He was going to turn on Chad Gable before Vince decided to move him back to Raw." Gable hasn't been seen on WWE TV for quite some time, with rumors speculating that he is the SmackDown hacker, whilst a Cruz heel turn was hinted at last week with him being frustrated about his kayfabe injury. Given that Cruz's injury isn't real, it'll be interesting to see what becomes of the athletic superstar in the coming weeks, as he may soon be joining the heel locker room. From Raw to SmackDown and NXT next, as many fans were surprised when the Forgotten Sons were called up from the Gold brand. Turns out this sudden call-up is related to SmackDown losing one of their tag teams, as Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that the trio were called up to replace the Usos, as Jimmy Uso is dealing with a knee injury. Prior to being called up to SmackDown, the trio of Wesley Blake, Steve Cutler, and Jackson Riker had done little in NXT, which made their call-up especially strange for fans. Now the trio will have a chance to become the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, as they will face current champions The New Day, The Miz and John Morrison, as well as the Lucha House Party this Sunday at Money in the Bank. Speaking of Money in the Bank, this year's show will be very unique as it'll feature 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches being shown simultaneously from WWE headquarters, and one person who is more than prepared is Lacey Evans. On Twitter, the sassy Southern Belle showed fans her 3-stage plan for the show, with her first phase involving her climbing up and down a ladder 500 times. After Phase 2, which showed Evans researching WWE headquarters, it's the 3rd stage of Evans' plan that got fans talking, as she has said that she has set booby traps throughout the building. It'll be interesting to see what kind of traps the sassy Southern Belle has set for the other women in her match, and given that both of the matches will take place simultaneously, it's possible that Evans could snare a few of the male ladder match competitors along the way. We've got news from WWE's recent releases next, as Carl Anderson has made a huge claim about his former employer. After Dolph Ziggler asked fans to find a clip of him and Sonya Deville talking backstage, the former Raw Tag Team Champion replied back saying, "They'll conveniently leave out lots of things that'll get you more over." It's likely that these words come from frustration, as the OC were never pushed the same way in WWE compared to their time in New Japan. And while they did have a run as Raw Tag Team Champions and worked with AJ Styles, this wasn't close to their success elsewhere. Time will tell what becomes of Anderson and Gallows, as while the pair have teased returning to New Japan, the promotion isn't hosting any shows at the moment, given the ongoing global situation. We've got more news from WWE's cuts, as former NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush was also let go, and this may be the end of the road for his career. On Twitter, the High Flyer said, "I legitimately might not ever wrestle again," but didn't give any context behind his comments. It's possible that Rush could be referring to the ongoing global situation, which has essentially shut down most, if not all, independent promotions, making it very difficult to find work as a wrestler. Then again, it's possible that Rush is dealing with an injury. And given that the former WWE superstar has put the date May 11th in his Twitter handle, hopefully we'll get some answers next week. One person who survived WWE's recent cuts was NXT Tag Team Champion Matt Riddle, who has been quite the controversial star since joining WWE. In the past, Riddle has called out both Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, which had led to reports of backstage heat, though in an interview with Sportskeeda, the original Bro denied having an issue with those running the show. He said, "I'll tell you this, do I have heat with WWE or NXT or the people that run the show? No. Do I have heat with some people who think I'm disrespectful at times because they don't understand how business works? Yes. Do people take things too seriously? Yes." Riddle went on to explain that he often tells people shortly before posting a controversial tweet, and added that he's just putting out an image and not trying to offend anyone. He added, "I'm a tag champ. I was in the Rumble, so how does this guy have so much nuclear heat? I was in Vince McMahon's office just 3 weeks ago before this thing broke out. I was in headquarters talking to him. And yeah, we mentioned the heat I have of certain people, but at the end of the day, he signs the checks, he makes it happen for me, and they're in control, not the talent." It certainly seems that McMahon is happy with the money the former MMA fighter is making, as Riddle has been consistently pushed since joining NXT in 2018. It doesn't look like the King of Bros is going to stop being pushed anytime soon, despite issues with some people he claims can't take a joke. Back to Raw now, and after Apollo Crews was pulled from the men's Money in the Bank ladder match due to a storyline injury, the company determined the final participant on Raw. Bobby Lashley made quick work in the opening moments of the match, eliminating Titus O'Neil, Akira Tozawa, and Shelton Benjamin, but was eventually disqualified after brutally assaulting Humberto Carrillo. Despite this beatdown, Carrillo was able to pin his cousin Angel Garza and Austin Theory, but was stopped by the returning AJ Styles. Confirming he's still a heel, Styles wrapped Carrillo's legs in the ring post and later promised to throw somebody off WWE headquarters. Now Styles will join Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, King Corbin, and Otis, and it'll be interesting to see if the Phenomenal One follows through on his threat. We're sticking with Raw now, as after Zelina Vega's group have become a big deal on the Red brand, another stable could soon be joining the show. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer stated that there is a push backstage for MVP to lead a new group on Raw, as WWE want to bring the backstage producer onto TV in a manager role. Last week, MVP managed the likes of Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne, and though it's not been explicitly stated that Apollo Crews will join the mid-card stable, it could certainly happen if his heel turn takes place. And finally today, we're ending with news from Rob Gronkowski, as the 24/7 champion was recently involved in a huge NFL trade from the New England Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Speaking to his brother Chris on the Gronked Up podcast, the rarely seen WWE star spoke about having to defend his title 24 hours a day, saying, "Imagine coming out of the meeting room. I'm like looking to my left down the hallway, looking to my right to make sure no one is out of the meetings yet, and then all of a sudden, Coach Arians just comes out of nowhere with a flying elbow and takes me out and pins me and becomes the 24/7 champ." Gronk went on to say it'd be an honor to lose his title to the coach, but with that in mind, there are plenty of WWE superstars, including 35-time champion R-Truth, who would love to take the title off the NFL star instead.